So, Sierra, go ahead and ask your question because I am curious as to what it is.
Juicy.
Oh, wonderful.
Loaded.
Even better.
I think all your listeners would love to know.
Oh, no.
When are you going to propose?
That's seriously your question? That is seriously? I thought it was going to be better than that. I've always told you within the next 6 years.
Nope. Let's get your real answer.
I can't tell you. That'd be illegal.
There's no law against it.
There should be.
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to Q&A Friday, where me and maybe a guest answer your questions. If you have a question you want answered on this podcast, email roughneckspodcast@gmail.com. Let's get into it.
What's up, everybody, and thanks for coming and listening to another Q&A Friday episode where we answer questions from you, the fans. Before we get into your questions, I want to let you guys know how you can support the podcast. I get this question a lot, and the best way is to fly the old flag. Now, this isn't a literal flag, even though those are available. I'm talking about shirts, cups, and more. You can head over to roughneckspodcast.com, grab yourself some Roughnecks gear, and show some support for the podcast. Use the promo code BOWL for 10% off your order. But let's dive in to your questions. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. This is episode number 190, which makes this Q&A number 11. Don't forget that the college and NFL shirts are live on the website. If you do not see your team, then just shoot me a message on Instagram at Roughnecks Podcast or email us at info@roughneckspodcast.com and we will get your shirt made. Give me a couple days and I'll get it on the website, available for you to purchase. While you're on the website, also be sure to subscribe to the newsletter so you can stay up to date with all the things that are to come. There is a new announcement coming, and the dogs are already getting in the way of this one. This is great. As long as you lay down, you can stay, bud. Oh, he wants to talk into the microphone. We are doing a prize for people who enter questions for Q&A Friday. You can enter your question. First off, how Q&A Friday works is me and a guest will sit here and answer questions from you. These questions can be about anything and everything. We got some good ones in the queue today, but you can enter your questions by, sometimes we have it on Instagram with the question box where you can enter them there in the story. Other times, the easiest way to enter them is to send them over to roughneckspodcast.com, roughneckspodcast@gmail.com. Send them over. In every single Q&A, if you enter a question, you are automatically entered into a drawing, which will be done live on this episode for some type of prize. We have not decided what the prize is yet, but we will be sure to let you know on social media. But joining me today for Q&A Friday number 11 is a returning guest and someone who happens to deal with me I struggled with this word the past 4 episodes. Often. Huh? Yeah, I talk loud. I actually talk into the microphones the way it's supposed to be done. Sierra, welcome to the podcast.
You're screaming.
Do you have your mic the right way? Nope. There you go.
Sorry, the dogs ruined it all.
Yeah, if you can see the words is the front, usually. Take the cover off. Whoa. What just happened? Anyway, welcome to Q&A Friday, number 11. Talking to you.
Thank you for having me again.
You ready to get into these questions?
Yep.
You're not going to like them.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. We have questions, and the first question is food combination. What is the weirdest food combination that you enjoy? I'll start this one off, and you give me crap for it. And I don't do it all the time, but it is mac and cheese and ketchup.
Oh, I thought you were going to say ranch and pork chops.
That's also not weird.
I've never had that in my life.
Yeah.
Or ever seen anyone else do it but you.
No, I've seen a lot of people do it. More than the mac and cheese thing.
I mean,
No. I'll say more ketchup and mac and cheese than ranch on pork chops.
I don't remember if you find this weird or not. I mean, I don't really do a bunch of weird combinations, but I do my like mac and cheese with my baked beans on top.
Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily weird. I haven't really seen a whole lot of people do that, but it is like I've seen a lot of people like when they're side by side on their plate, like they scoop them at the same time.
Oh no, I put them right on top of the mac and cheese.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we didn't really have any weird combinations. Even despite you think mine's weird, but it's not. No comment. All right, cool. Tattoo. If you had to get a tattoo right now, what would it be? And where?
Well, you know I've been wanting to get that half sleeve with the wolf on it.
Yeah.
That's what I get.
Left arm or right arm, it matters.
For me, I'd probably do left.
That's the better arm. I don't know why, but sleeves look better on left arms compared to right arms.
Yeah, I feel like it would look weird on my right arm.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right. But
Can I guess yours?
yeah,
One of your Zach Bryan tattoos that you've been looking at.
it's kind of a toss up. It's that Zach Bryan, like the bull with the traveling man logo or cover art include in it, but also it's just kind of like the bull in general because of the podcast mainly. But I've wanted, I don't know if I'd get like my bull exactly or because it's very basic, or if I'd get kind of like the Zach Bryan in that tattoo, that type of bull. And I don't know where I'd get it though. That's my biggest issue. That's why I have yet to pull the trigger on it.
You should get RP on your butt.
No, I will not. How many tattoos do you have?
7 or 8.
It's a problem when you don't know how many you have. Pointing and counting. Yep, this is how this works.
7.
You have 7 and I have 3. Where was the most painful? That was a different question that we have answered on Q&A Friday with Jake and Dante. Where was, like, which one was the most painful?
Probably the one on my small one on my hip.
I could see that. The forearm one didn't hurt?
Not at all.
I feel like was it on the bone a whole lot, or was it mainly just in, like, muscle?
Mainly muscle, but I mean, there's a small area, kind of more closer to the elbow, but still didn't really hurt.
Yeah, mine. Once you get in towards like the armpit on the one on my arm, that was when I really felt it. Other than that, they weren't too bad. The shading, well, just the time it took to do the shoulders was the painful part. Just because, but eventually you just kind of go numb, so it just kind of goes
like
away.
The one on my back with the collar, the shading.
Mm-hmm. And I've always heard that color shading hurts more than like regular black or gray.
I guess not really. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, so.
So you say.
I do.
Whatever. Work type. Do you prefer to work alone or with a team?
What do you think my answer is?
Alone.
Yes.
You just prefer to be alone in general.
I mean, not all the time, but I don't know. I just feel like I can make sure I stay focused, can't make sure everyone else stays focused and does their part not efficiently, but
There's
100%.
I think there's a point of like too big of a team in general. So like I think like 5 max is like a group that you can keep on task for the most part. You're going to get off task, but I feel like if you go past 5, that's when things start to really kind of separate themselves per se.
Yeah, and even with the 5, I feel like not everyone's going to work at the same exact level.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at college group projects.
Yeah.
I mean, half the time, if you work on it outside of class, and you'd have people that would never even show up to like the meetings that you'd put together or whatever,
Yeah.
I mean, I may have been a part of that a couple times, but they always try to schedule them during football practice, and I'm like, I can't come at 4:00 like that. It just doesn't work for me.
Yeah, and at least, like my job right now, like I actually kind of do both. Like we have a team, like in the office, split things up that way everything's covered. But I've got my own area of the county, my own patients. I go see the patients on my own, so I have a little bit of both. But primarily, I'm responsible for my work, and
That's kind of how it is with us too, because like that's what I was gonna say. I kind of like both. If I had to pick one, I'd probably say alone. I don't always like working alone per se, but if I had to pick one, it would be alone. But that's how it is at work too. Like sometimes you're working together, sometimes I'm off doing whatever, Brent's doing what. And sometimes even when you're on working as a team, you get split up and yes, you may all your whole group may be there doing one thing, but you're doing something completely different than the other person. It's like you're doing three different things. I kind of like that aspect of working in a group. Like, don't get me wrong, you still need people at times for any type of work or project, whatever type it is, or whatever it is. But I kind of like the team aspect but also being able to work alone inside of that team.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist.
Yes, you are.
But I have a certain standard that I hold myself to for my work, and you can't always expect every single person you work with to have that same standard. So that's part of why I like working alone.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yep, there's the dog dropping the bone again. I've never met a dog, never seen a dog in my entire life that when he drops, if you give this dog a bone, he loves his bones, but if he drops it, I think the whole neighborhood knows because he drops it from his mouth straight down on the hardwood and it is loud.
Or down the stairs.
He's done that before too. Celebrity crush. Who was your first celebrity crush? Mine, and this is very cliche that I can think of, like the first one, and I don't think this anymore, but it was Megan Fox because of Transformers.
Very cliche.
Yeah, I mean that was everybody's. So I feel like that was probably mine. I'm gonna guess yours.
What do they say? White boy basic?
Yeah, whatever. Well, that's the first thing that comes to mind. I've never had one. I don't remember any other ones from when I was a kid. Jennifer Aniston.
That's another one of those that everybody's.
Yours was Justin Bieber. I don't know. I just took a guess.
You clearly don't know me at all. I'll give you one more.
I don't know. I can't think of it. I'm gonna be pissed because I'm gonna know it.
Tim McGraw.
Yeah, duh. I knew that.
Quit texting. We're recording a podcast.
It's about the recording after this recording. The recording that comes out the day before this one. Well, you're going too fast through the questions. We're gonna run out of questions.
They're pretty straightforward.
We're only 12. No, me and Dante can take a chicken versus tiger question and make it 30 minutes.
Then have Dante on here.
Well, Dante's coming on later.
All right.
Oh, I need you to answer the chicken versus tiger question on air.
You already had me. Oh, not on air now. You just asked me my thoughts.
This is a very valid question. This question
what is it? Chicken?
Would you rather fight one tiger-sized chicken or 10 chicken-sized tigers?
I said 10 chicken-sized tigers because I could punt them. It'd be easier.
That is
a lot easier to manage.
Yeah, I mean, and trying to fight a 600-pound chicken would not be fun.
Yeah, you just take a baseball bat and
you'd be that chicken's egg.
Yeah, there'd be no point.
Money, something me and you have none of.
I have some.
I have a tiny bit. How much money is enough money? I really like this question. Thanks, Reno. Reno always comes up with a good. He was also the chicken versus tiger.
I mean, this could be a cliche. Enough money for me is enough to be comfortable, where I don't need anything fancy as long as I get a decent car, gets me from point A to point B, a roof overhead, bills are paid comfortably, don't have to worry about being able to pay next month's bills, but having enough to have the bills paid, but have enough to be comfortable enough that like if something were to pop up, like car breaks down or, something happens, I don't have to worry and be like, how am I going to afford this?
Okay, let me ask you this though, because I agree with you, but I'm just going to throw this at you. What is comfortable? Because does that vary from person to person?
It could. I mean, I don't know how to exactly give it a monetary value.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's a certain amount of money that is enough money, because also you also have to throw in the fact that prices change on things, so lifestyles change. Like, I mean, prices of things now compared to what they were when I was in college. Like, I used to be able to drive back and forth to college and not have to worry about paying an arm and a leg and gas. I'm glad I'm not in college now because, I mean, I'd go through fuel like crazy and I'd be paying. I mean, it used to cost me like $30. Now it costs me 60 plus.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's a set amount of money that is enough. But I agree with you. It's more of a comfort thing. And I think it depends on the person, but I think most people kind of had the same outlook of, as long as I'm able to stay fed, drive, keep the roof over my head, keep the heat on, keep the lights on, that's good. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to just exactly say it's paycheck to paycheck, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is more of, you have enough money to do what you want, but not like useless fun per se, like just wasting money of type of things. Like, I like to be able to have the money to go on a trip just because I want to, and not have to say no to it because of the fact that we don't have the money for it. So like, that's my aspect of it, is just being able to be comfortable, but comfortable enough that it's not paycheck to paycheck. You still have spending money.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how much is the correct amount of spending money. I'm not a financial advisor, because if I was your financial advisor, good Lord, we'd be screwed. But I don't know what the correct amount of, what do you think? Do you have a rough idea of what the correct amount of spending money should be? And you don't have to give an exact dollar amount, but
when I was in the process of buying my house, my lender, like one of the, I guess, rules of thumb or whatever they say is to have at least try and get your savings up to about 6 months of income. That way you have that in case, you need a new roof. That's not cheap. You need new water heater or AC unit, for example, when we thought we were going to have to get a new one of those.
And
they always say to try and work on saving up to have 6 months of income in a savings account, 6 months worth, and you'll be plenty comfortable.
Okay, but then how, I'm going to take that even a step further. How do you go about saving that money? Like, what do you think is the best way to is there an X amount? Brooks is turning the echo on when he's over here. Is there an X amount of money that you should be taking out of each paycheck, or, percentage based or whatever?
I think this is entirely up to you about how fast or, how long you want to save up to get to the 6 months. Everyone's, I think, living situation is different. So it depends on that. Like, are you comfortable enough or make enough money where you can put back, a few hundred each paycheck, or can you only do $20 at a time? Or is this paycheck bigger? Did you get a bonus? Put that bonus back. I think just everyone's income and living situation is a little bit different, and how fast or, how slow they're able to save that up.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm personally doing right now is I'm only saving $10 at a time. I could do more, definitely, but I'm I'll just do $10 a paycheck, or $20 a paycheck. And then that's, like you said, if you get extra money, or if I have cash or whatever, instead of spending that cash on gas station, like I like to do, why not just put it in the savings account? And the hardest thing to do, I feel, but one of the best things to do is, if you have a savings account, do not touch it unless you absolutely have to. Especially when you're young.
Yeah.
When you're young, But when you get older, I understand circumstantial. But when you're young, try not to touch that savings account as much as possible because, like, and I think it's a very good idea to break down how much you're paying in bills a month, how much you're making a month, and kind of tell yourself, hey, I have X amount of money this month to spend free money, like free money as in like entertainment, whatever you please, like whatever you want to spend it on. But don't also get yourself so caught up in trying to save every single penny that you don't live your life.
Yeah, I mean, we only have this one life. There's no point in only going through the motions, and you need to have those experiences and memories as well. But for saving and stuff, you need to not have the mentality that, oh, I can just pull some out of my savings. You see on TikTok, Facebook, people do the envelope thing where they write, 1 through 100 on envelope. They pull one out each day or each paycheck, and whatever one they pull out is how much money from that paycheck they have to put in. And I mean, there's some where, depending, if you do it every day or every paycheck, you can save up to, I think, what was it? Roughly $3,000. Don't quote me on that, or, a good amount of money in that time period. That's an idea to do, or do a budget planner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it might feel tedious writing every little thing down that you purchase, but then you can look back on it and be like, okay, what are some of these costs I can cut out? And then you can see, like, sometimes it helps people see on paper, like, in this month, I spent this much on getting a $3 coffee every day or $5 coffee every day. If I cut that out,
if you could just cut it in half,
I get X amount of money more, each month.
Yeah, that's the like writing them down, and I don't think you have to do it constantly, but if you do it for like a month or two, where you write down, like you literally track every single expense, which a lot of you can get on your bank website, and a lot of them have like a tracking spender of like, hey, you spent this much on food, this much on gas, this much on whatever. It kind of breaks it down for you. But I recommend looking at those because, like you said, you realize maybe you start to realize, like, man, I spent X amount on food this month. Like, holy crap! Like fast food,
Red Bull, Monster.
I went back to the Monsters because they're cheaper. All right, I'm getting somewhere, and I've been making coffee more. All right, get off my back.
So that's like, I would stop and get a coffee, not every day, but a few times out of the week, like going out seeing patients and stuff. But it adds up. So, I went and got stuff when we were at the grocery, coffee, took it to the office because we got a coffee machine there. I'm just trying to start making one there in the morning versus stopping and getting one. And
yeah, and like that's
how it goes.
You're not ever saying like you can't ever stop and get a coffee. It's just maybe if you cut that 6 times a week down to 3 or even down to 4, there's X amount of money that you saved right there. I mean, how much is a coffee at Starbucks usually?
Starbucks anywhere from $5 to $7.
So, I mean, if you cut 2 days out of that, that's $10. And people are like, well, $10 isn't really that much. Okay. $10 over the course of a month is $50. Over the course of a year, you're up to a lot of money. Yeah. And so you can save a lot of money if you just cut those types of things out. And I one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever got, and it is like, it's super simple, but it is true. And it's like, you can't save $100 till you save 10. You can't save $10 till you save 5. You can't save $5 till you save 1. So even like everybody wants to start with $100 or $1,000, like, oh, I don't have it, so like, what's the point? But you're not going to be able to save anything unless you just start with $1. Like, you can literally start as low as if you don't have a savings account or you don't have very much money in your savings account, you're not like putting money into it. You can start with $1 a paycheck until you kind of figure something out. Now, is it going to grow as fast? Absolutely not. But you're still starting to save. And I think once you start to see that little bit of growth, it may be like, oh, all right, I'm going to bump this up to 10. Oh, I'm going to bump this up to 20. And then all of a sudden, over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, you can accumulate a lot of money in your savings that will just help you in your future. And a lot of this advice I feel like that we're talking about is more for like younger people like our age in their 20s, when you're still trying to figure a lot of stuff out, but also like it's typical for a lot of people our age not to have a giant savings. And I think that shouldn't be that way, because if you just started with $1 or $2, you would have been a lot better off. Like me included, I wish I'd have started saving like $1 a week in high school or something. And one of the things my grandpa did, which I kind of started doing, was he didn't spend his $1 bills. He always put those in the safe, and then eventually took them to the bank, even though he didn't believe in banks because he was part of the bank shutdown and everything. So there was money stashed all over their house. Like you could find cash laying everywhere, but you just don't spend your $1 bills. And I know people that have taken it to where I don't spend my 1s and 5s. Now cash isn't as relevant anymore, but if you do have cash, if you take that, there's an extra like 5, 10, even $1 that you can save.
Yeah, even going lower than saving $1 change, I feel like a lot of people just, gets dropped down in their bag or their purse, or they toss it, or it gets thrown in their, in their car, in their console or something. And you save that up, that starts to add up. Take it, get switch over to cash. And, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, it's just change.
I don't think people realize a roll of quarters is $10.
Yeah.
Like if you just have a roll of quarters, you have $10 right there, and you can take that into any of your banks and give that, like you can either deposit it directly into an account or get straight cash for it.
And there's even some Walmarts or Kroger's where they have that machine where you just dump your change into it and it counts it all for you, and then you get your cash out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Change is one of the things. Everybody has it laying around.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your couch. It's in your wallet, or it's in your purse. It's in your just random nooks and crannies everywhere. Like you can find change. That's one of the, I think too, if you take your change and put it towards your savings account, that's a good thing to do as well.
We should probably start doing some of these things.
Yeah, we probably should. I got change that I need to take in. I don't have a ton. I need to recount some of it.
I've got a lot more quarters and stuff in my car.
Yeah, we're going to count our change this weekend and take it to the bank. What's up? Thank you guys for listening to today's episode, but I wanted to take a quick break to tell you guys about the best phone holder in golf. I am not lying when I tell you that these things are awesome. I got myself a regular one that I ended up giving to Reno. I now have the Patriot Aid phone caddy from Desert Fox Golf, and I could not be happier. It straps right onto the golf cart, holds my phone in the perfect location while I use my golf app. That is just going to tell me that I'm about to shank my next ball, but it is what it is. You guys can go check these out by going over to desertfoxgolf.com and use the promo code Roughnecks for 10% off your order. Let's get back to your questions. Your theme song. Thank you, Reno. What song would play if it played every single time you walked into a room?
Well, for as long as I can remember, every time I usually do walk into a room or tell someone my name, they start singing 1-2 Step by Sierra, the intro.
Even though it's not spelled the same way.
No.
But, so that would be your theme song? Or is that just like
been my
given theme song? What would mine be?
Let me guess, it's going to be a Zach Bryan song.
There's no Zach Bryan songs that I feel like explain me or make sense for me.
Should have been a cowboy.
That's Toby Keith, but yeah.
I know, it sounds... It was moving off. You already said Zach Bryan didn't fit you, so...
The dogs are getting very jealous that we are recording a podcast right now, and well, Dunn's very jealous because Brooks is up on the couch laying between us, but he's just laying peacefully. Dunn, get off my microphone. My theme song would probably be... I have no idea. I'm going to have to come back to this later probably because I have absolutely no idea. All right. We are starting something new on this podcast. are on these Q&A episodes where me and a guest are going to throw a question at each other. And I'm starting this perfectly with Sierra. I'm not looking for. I told her about this the other night, and she was like, "Oh, I already got mine. You want to know what it is?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, I'm excited to see. I want to see your response." So, Sierra, go ahead and ask your question because I am curious as to what it is.
Juicy.
Oh, wonderful.
Loaded.
Even better.
I think all your listeners would love to know.
Oh, no.
When are you going to propose?
That's seriously your question? That is seriously? I thought it was going to be better than that. I've always told you within the next 6 years.
Nope. Let's get your real answer.
I can't tell you. That'd be illegal.
There's no law against it.
There should be. Brooks. He's dead.
Done.
Lay down, Bubba. I can't tell you. You're not going to get an answer to that. I don't have to answer every question on this.
You're letting your listeners down. I thought that was.
No, I think I'm just letting.
I thought you had to answer. That was a rule.
That is not a rule. When has that ever been?
I'm about to go back to your episodes
Okay, go for it.
and listen.
I can't give you that answer, so you just wasted a question. My question for you is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
It's really your surprise question.
That is my surprise question. It's better than yours. At least you can give an answer.
Not really. It's not that juicy of a question. I feel like I've already answered this on one of the past Q&As here, but
I feel like this was a question you asked.
maybe.
No, I don't know.
That's hard
Till you know.
because you never know. I mean, I switched to this new job and made the decision and applied within a week of making the decision or even thinking about it. So I'm kind of more of a go with the flow, but hopefully some goals. I can give you some goals. Hopefully I'll have an Etsy shop up and running and doing well.
Sponsored by the Roughneck. No, it would sponsor the Roughnecks podcast.
Anyway, we'll have to talk about that. Anyway.
The deal's already been made. Sorry. I signed for you.
Well, I'm working on my second certification right now, so that's already in the works. I already got my wound care certification, which is something I've wanted to work on the last couple of years and finally got to do it. I mean, I really like this job, so I could see myself still being here, just hopefully with a lot more, how do I want to say, opportunities within the job and be involved in a lot more aspects of the community with it. Hopefully come up with some things to help out patients, and other than that, and hopefully in a new house.
Yeah, that is definitely a goal in the next 5 years, as long as prices come down.
Find our first land. That's probably one of the biggest goals.
I don't know what these dogs think that they're doing right now. Please take a picture of this so I can post it.
Trying to sleep.
That will be on the Instagram for you guys to check out. Oh, sorry, Brooks, did we wake you up? Yes, our dogs' name are Brooks and Dunn. Get over it.
And we got two cats, Hank and Waylon.
If you can't figure out the theme, you need to look up some people. Another tiger question.
Rena, what are you doing?
To kill a tiger, how many chickens would be required?
Yes.
Okay, but here's the real question. Is this a normal-sized tiger and normal-sized chickens?
Is that the question? Yes, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot.
I know, because like, how can a chicken kill you?
You'd have to have a lot.
Just pecking you to death? Pecking your eyes out and crap?
I feel like you need a few roosters in there.
Oh, the roosters are nasty.
Yeah.
I'd say it would take over.
I would say minimum 50.
That's what I was just about
Minimum.
to say. I'd say you need at least, like, it has to be able to completely swarm that thing, because all that tiger has to do is bite down gently on one of those chickens, and that chicken's done. I'd say
minimum 50, because I feel like at least 25 are going to have to sacrifice.
I'd say probably closer to 100 would be the correct answer. I wonder if this is
Let us know your answer, Rita.
Yeah. Reno never answers the questions unless I ask them. How many chickens does it take to kill an elephant? I'm curious about that one. It'd take 2,200 chickens to kill an elephant. And a lion, close enough. Okay.
Apparently it's
Oh my God. No, this is so dumb. Apparently, if you look up how many chickens will kill a lion, the answer is just one. If a chicken or if a lion tries to swallow it whole, it will get stuck in its throat and the lion suffocates and dies. I don't think that's how it works. Oh, the Greeks also believed that lions were afraid of roosters. All right. You're not the only one, lions, because roosters, I'm not a big fan of. I'm not afraid of them, but I'm not afraid to take a swing at one. So yeah, I'd say at least 100. You're at least 50.
minimum, like bare minimum.
A bare minimum. Like if you went all the way down as low as you could go, it'd be 50.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Job. What job do you never want to work at? I don't think I could do fast food.
Why not?
I think it'd ruin fast food for me.
I couldn't work at my favorite fast food place.
Yeah, like if I worked at Taco Bell, I would probably never eat it again, but I just love Taco Bell so damn much. And you just have so many rude people.
Yeah, but you have that in any job, right? You got rude customers.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably shouldn't talk about that on here.
not every job has rude people because some people don't deal with people.
True.
But
I got rude people in healthcare.
But I feel like you will get more in fast food than
It's
most.
just entitled people that think they're.
We live in this world that everybody needs everything now, and if you take longer, don't get me wrong, I'm one that gets frustrated where I'm like, why is it taking so long to make 12 chicken sandwiches? But I don't know. I think fast food would be the one that I don't think I could ever see myself working at.
But a lot of that now is just not enough staff because no one wants to freaking work because they get paid more on unemployment.
You know, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Great song. What
That's a good
job
song.
would you never want to work at?
I just don't think I'd ever want to do any kind of like business where I have to sit in an office all day long. That would just get really boring to me.
That's fair. I don't know. I feel like I could do it. I'd definitely get bored with an office job, but I feel like I could do it. You would hate me
Probably.
because I get all of my energy out at work,
I do sometimes now.
and then I come home. If I had an office job and just sat at in a chair all day and then came home, I'd have all of my energy, and you would just love it.
I would be getting stuff done.
That's false. I'd be so annoying. The dogs would love it because they'd I don't know, the looks of them right now. They don't need energy.
Yeah, but it could also be pretty draining on your energy to do a job.
I've heard
where
that
you're
as well.
Bored and don't enjoy, and
Just like you have no motivation because like you've just been sitting around all day. That would be tough. Because I don't. The only time I sit really is when I'm driving, which some days is a lot, but most days it's not. I mean, heck, I got a whole 8,000 steps today, but I was driving most of the day. So yesterday I was at like 15,000.
I also probably couldn't do like probably wouldn't necessarily want to do where you the trash company. I just
It's not that bad.
how'd you do it?
I did trash at National Trails Racetrack for a long time, where I'd go around on a flatbed, pick up all the dumpsters, throw them on a truck, and then take them back and dump them in a big dumpster.
It doesn't get repetitive and old.
No, because I was 14 driving a truck around.
I'm just talking about in general.
No, it really wasn't too bad.
But okay, that's one day compared to every day for however long you
No,
went there.
I did it for like a year, not like consistently every day, but I did it like every weekend. Yeah, that would be tough though. Like to do it, I don't know. I feel like those trash guys don't, and I feel like they're underpaid.
Oh, sure.
There's a lot. What do you think is one of the, never mind, I already know your answer to this. We're just going to go on to the last question. Secret talent. What is your secret talent?
I don't know if I have one.
I don't know if yours is necessarily a secret, but you can kind of call it a secret talent.
What?
Your artistic ability.
I don't have that.
You do. I'm going to start posting your stuff.
No.
You're going to start selling it. You're going to start selling it, so people are going to know anyway.
Only certain things.
That's true. I'm still mad you threw away some paintings. You hid them from me, too, in the trash.
I know how you are. They're digging them out.
Because they're good.
No. They're in the trash for a reason.
Whatever. What is your secret talent?
I don't know if I have one. That I can tear 3 ACLs?
I don't think that's a talent.
That felt like it to me.
My secret talent. Oh, man. I guess I should have
Do you
thought.
even have one?
No, I guess I should have thought of this. My secret talent would probably have to be I can memorize books.
All right. First page of the Goggins book. Go.
My name is Mike Ross.
You just got lit up.
If you guys have not watched Suits, you need to watch Suits. It's a very good show. We're only, 2 seasons through pretty much? Not even.
We're almost done with season 3.
Oh, 3 seasons through almost. You may watch it too much. I don't know what my secret talent is. Gardening? I don't know.
We're boring.
We are boring.
We're vanilla.
I don't have, I can't play guitar.
You're learning.
Computers? I don't know. That's just so basic. I have nothing. I can sing. Okay, no, I can't. I don't know. I got nothing. You got nothing. This is a great question for us.
Anyone wants to submit videos to your email
roughneckspodcast@gmail.com.
of your secret hidden talents? Be cool to see.
What story does your family always tell about you? Oh, Lord. This is going to be a good one.
I was very young. Keep this in mind. Very young, little. And my mom asked if I want to go down to the little store. She's going down, and I'm like, no. Well, then apparently I got very upset after she left, and I decided I wanted to go with her. So I knew my dad would try to stop me. So instead, I thought, oh, let me just climb out this second story window. You know, I was kind of climb down the siding. Didn't work. Fell right down the sidewalk. No injuries, thank God, but my dad didn't know until he came out to the garage to grab a beer and saw me laying on the sidewalk trying to quietly cry.
Why am I not surprised one bit?
I was a daredevil.
I don't know. What story have you heard from my family? I don't feel like there's any that my family always tells about me. They don't really talk about me.
You're not their favorite anymore.
No, the grandkids are. I always used to be the favorite. It's bullshit.
They prefer me over you now.
Yeah, I know. That's also true.
You got to answer.
I do not. I'll answer the next one. What languages do you speak? English, and I do know a little bit of German. I used to know more, but I don't take the classes anymore, so I do know Du ist ein Scheißekopf.
That means?
Huh?
And what does that mean?
You are a shithead. My high school teacher said that to me one time. And when she said it, I was like, I know what like 3 of those words mean, so I'm pretty sure I know what the other one is. And she goes, yeah, that's what you're being right now. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get back to work. Brooks! The dogs are ruining the episode, if you can tell in the background. But what dumb accomplishment are you proud of? Mine is the volleyball tournament.
How is that a dumb accomplishment, though?
Because, like, it was nothing crazy.
But it was your...
I don't view it as a giant accomplishment. Like, okay, maybe it's not dumb, but it's, like, not, like, my most proud accomplishment, per se. But...
Well, to me...
Okay, what dumb accomplishment are you most proud of? Mine would be breaking my elbow and playing an entire game.
I wish I could say finishing basketball on a torn ACL, but that led to more problems. So probably 6th grade, we had a whole 6th grade class tournament, ping pong tournament, and I won a little trophy.
Do you still have it?
I do.
Of course. Where's that?
I think it's at my parents' with all my other trophies and medals from over the years.
So you're a ping pong champion, huh?
Yeah. Kick your butt any day.
We should get a ping pong table.
Okay.
I don't know where we'd put it, but...
Hey, we got all that space now.
Not really.
Downstairs.
Not big enough for a ping pong table.
Yeah, but you get the ones that fold up and slide out of the way.
Right, but still, when we put it down, where would we even have room to play?
Right there in the middle of the basement. It would work. I will find one on Marketplace.
No. No ping pong tables yet.
You don't want to lose to me?
I'm not saying I don't want to loot, or I'm not saying I loot. That's why I don't want to get it. What is an unpopular opinion that you have?
What's yours? What is yours? That pickles are gross.
That Ohio State football fans, this is only unpopular for like people around here, but Ohio State football fans are one of the most annoying fan bases in the country.
You're part of that.
As a whole, not everybody.
You're a part of that.
I am part of that, but I am not one of the annoying ones. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, you're not. You accept the losses and...
Yeah. I don't think
try
that
and
Kyle
blame
McCord
everyone
needs to be... I don't think we need to fire Ryan Day because he hasn't beat Michigan yet. They kept Harbaugh for freaking 5 years straight of losing to Ohio State, and then look what happens. You never know when it's going to turn around.
It's based on the players, how they play that day, their performance, it's not solely the coach.
Yeah, exactly. What talent would you show off in a talent show? What?
We've already talked about we don't have talent.
What's the last book you gave up on and stopped reading?
I've never stopped reading a book.
Really?
Yeah.
Speaking of books, remind me to tell you something after the podcast.
Okay.
The last book I gave up on was called Guns, Crime, and Freedom, which I thought I would really like, but it was really old, so some of the things were really hard to... They didn't relate as much today, because especially with how the world has changed in terms of guns, crime, and freedom. Because this book was from like the 1970s, 80s, maybe. So it was definitely older and outdated. And I finally was like, I got like halfway through it, and I was kind of forcing myself after like the first quarter of the book to keep reading. But I don't really give up reading. I started reading again recently.
I saw your book down here this morning.
I read it yesterday. Back to the David Goggins book. I still have yet to finish it, but I've got like 3 chapters left. So, and then next book is going to be 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. What's the best piece of advice you ever received? All I want to do is quote like Russ when he got asked this. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
You know who Russ is, don't you?
Yeah.
He was on a podcast, and it was somebody asked him. They asked him like, "What is the best piece of advice you ever received?" And he said, "What if it could turn out better than you ever imagined?" And then they said, "What was the worst piece? What was the worst piece of advice you ever received?" And he said, "Be realistic." I was like, "Well, damn, okay." The best piece of advice you have ever received. What is it, Sierra?
Failure is not final.
Oh, back to the title of your episode.
Yeah. That's just a hard thing, I think, for some people to cope with. And, they just want to succeed in everything, which is a good goal to have, but it's not realistic first try, especially. It may take a few tries to get that success that you want, or 100 tries, but failure is not final, so just keep pushing.
Nobody likes the person that never messes up. And I put never messes up in quotes because it's unrealistic. Like your failures are what make you who you are. Everybody loves a good comeback story. Everybody loves when someone gets knocked down, gets back up, and does something crazy, like exceptional.
And that's how you learn. If you're successful at everything, you're really not learning.
Not a damn thing. All you're learning is, I don't have to try. But that's exactly why people try. Like, some people are naturally gifted to get things good, like, or get things the first time. Like, they might have that in their life. And then what happens? They get lazy because it's like, I don't have to try. And then you fail, and then you're like, whoa, okay, I do have to try. Like, there's your learning point right there. The best piece of advice that I have ever received was nothing is free.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people argue with me on this, and I argued with it when I first heard it. Because people give you free stuff, right? Or, they just give you their time, whatever. And it's like, no, there's always something on the back end. Like, you really think that when you sign up for something, I mean, how many times I've done it, I'm sure a million people have done it, where you see something on Instagram and it's like, sign up for our newsletter and get a free da-da-da-da. What do you still have to pay?
The only thing that's free are samples at the grocery store or Costco or Sam's Club.
Kind of. Yeah, those are free. Not really, because guess what happens after you eat those samples? You go buy it.
Not always.
But I don't know. The nothing is free. Like the free T-shirt. Like you don't get free T-shirts. Like when you sign up to do something, those are included in your cost. Everybody does it. Like that's not how it works. Like free stuff, everything comes at a cost. Giveaways. You know what that cost you? It didn't really cost you money per se, but it cost you time, and you had to help that company in that giveaway by liking their post, commenting on their post, sharing their post, doing this, doing that. It's all everything. Nothing's free. There's something behind everything. Last question that I am going to have you answer is, what is one of your favorite smells?
Well, since we're in the fall mood,
I knew it was coming.
we've got this pretty good smell in the living room right now. Pumpkin pecan waffles.
That's your favorite smell. If you had to smell that every single second for the rest of your life, you'd be okay.
Yeah, I could.
That's fair enough.
Or like the vanilla and like sandalwood.
I do like sandalwood. Sandalwood is good. And that's my soap and my shampoo smells. My favorite smell is like the bonfire smell.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, all right, I kind of take this with a grain of salt because I don't like being covered in it, because like the next morning after sitting by a bonfire, you're like, you don't want to go to bed in those clothes because then it's all like, but I love like that smell of when you're out by the fire and like a fall evening. Like that's one of my favorite just like smells. I think that, or even this is such a dad thing. fresh cut grass. The smell of fresh cut grass is amazing. All right, there is not too many things better than the smell of a fresh cut yard.
Speaking of,
I need to mow. I'm doing it either tomorrow or Thursday.
one of my favorite smells growing up, we had a clothesline outside. My mom would hang up like the comforter, like big bulky things up on them, and just smelling the like laundry detergent.
Yeah,
Outside
just
in
smelling
the
it kind of
sun,
in the
like
breeze. Yeah. It's crazy how smells work, like how they trigger memories.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you smelled fresh laundry when you were just walking down the street or something, you'd like probably automatically think of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain things that I think of when I smell a bonfire. There's certain things I think of all the time. Like with everything, it just triggers your your memory of like back to that point in time of when you like maybe not first smelled it, but like maybe first really paid attention to it.
Absolutely.
But that is a wrap on Q&A number 11. Thank you, Sierra, for doing this.
You're welcome.
I had to entice her. She didn't want to do it. I'm just kidding. You didn't fight this one. I don't
didn't.
think you've ever really fought any of them. Well,
Maybe the guest at the solo.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
About me. But.
Yeah. But don't forget, the college NFL shirts are out there. I do have mine on order. Sorry. I got my Ohio State one coming. So we'll be...
probably looks like all of your other shirts.
Just shut up. It does look like all of my other shirts, except it's Ohio State colors. All right, that's the point. That's different, though. Nobody else, not everybody has Roughnecks gear. So what's a better way to support the podcast than supporting your favorite team while you're at it? Tell me I'm wrong. That's a good point. That's why you should go over to roughneckspodcast.com and get you one of these shirts. And like I said, if you don't see your team there, just shoot me an email, info@roughneckspodcast.com, or on Instagram @roughneckspodcast. And I will get it made. Give me a couple days and I'll get it out there. But if you're not going to buy one, don't tell me your team, because I'm not making it just because. I want to make it for people to buy. Don't forget, too, you can enter your questions for a prize starting next episode. So enter these questions. They can be anything and everything. They can be deep. They can be simple. Doesn't matter what it is. Me and Dante took a chicken and tiger question and turned it into a freaking hour-long thing. And it gets asked all the time. So these questions can be funny. They can be serious. It does not matter. Send them to roughneckspodcast@gmail.com or answer them on the Roughnecks Instagram stories from time to time. You will be entered into a prize. The prize will probably be giving something away, maybe like a koozie, some stickers, or maybe you'll get your own discount code that you can use for when you buy your college NFL shirt. But until Monday, and I hope you guys liked yesterday's episode. If you didn't go listen to yesterday's episode, the bonus episode, it's the 3-year anniversary. As of yesterday, it was 3 years of the podcast, and mine and Sierra's 1.5 years. You don't sound too excited there.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has. It doesn't feel like 1.5 years, but
some days it does. But
well, yeah.
In general, not
Some
really.
days it feels like we've been together for decades. With how much
Sure
I love you.
don't want to see
No, I definitely do not. Nice try. But yeah, 3 years of the podcast. Thank you, everyone who has supported us through these 3 years. Thank you, Sierra, for letting me record in your home constantly and dealing with me constantly being in the basement editing. Oh yeah, our home. Whatever. It's yours. I just moved into it and made it ours. But until Monday, you guys know the deal. Life is hard and is going to knock you down just like a bull does to a bull rider. Don't let that bull of life walk all over you. Get up, grab the bull by the horns, and take control of your life. Roughnecks out. Thank you guys for tuning in to today's episode of the Roughnecks Podcast. If you got something out of today's episode, it could be anything at all, then be sure to share it with a friend. Spread it around. And then go leave a rating and a review to let us know how we did. If you want your questions answered on the next Q&A Friday, then email them over to roughneckspodcast@gmail.com or message us on Instagram @roughneckspodcast or Facebook. But until next time, grab a bull by the horns. Roughnecks